getting ready for tryout. We're going to use today for tryout prep. We're going to go through the whole thing, okay? Let's think about what happens before we actually come out here, though. What can you do to make you more prepared for tryouts beyond just being out here practicing? You want to be ready for it, right?
Yes.
You want to get a good night's sleep? Eat a good breakfast, simple things like that, right? What if it's cold? We're going to come out here in t-shirt and shorts? No, of course not. Yeah, dress warmly. What do I always tell you about your mechanics when you're hitting or throwing? I'm saying so many times, relax, 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 relax your arms. You can't do that if you're shivering, right? So you got to make sure you're loose, and part of that is just being, dressed warmly. Dress like a baseball player. Make sure you're wearing baseball pants if you got them, okay? Wear a hat. Don't forget your hat. Go through your gear and make sure you have everything, all right? When you get here early so you can be ready to do these drills with 100% effort and energy and strength, right? So we want to get here and warm up, right? So let's get here, 20 or 30 minutes beforehand so you can maybe jog a little bit and loosen up your legs and throw a little bit, okay? So your arms loose and your legs are loose. All the way up next to it. Not on it. There you go. This drill is about two things. It's about our infield mechanics and it's about our throwing arm, okay? So first of all, let's jump to the throwing arm. This is one of 3 opportunities, I think 3, to show your arm strength. That's why in tryouts, every chance we get, we want to throw the ball hard, okay? So throwing it from short to first, throwing from outfield to second, and pitching, to the catcher, okay? Throwing it hard, that's what we're trying to do. Well, we don't do that in regular season tryouts, okay? It's all from shortstop. So what we're gonna do is try to create some energy into our throw. Remember our shuffle steps? Shuffle into it for 1 or 2 shuffles. Charge the ball a little bit if you want to get a little bit closer to first base, right? But let's set up with good mechanics too. What do we think about with our fielding mechanics? Think about it. We've been doing it, guys, right? Right-handers, what foot?
Right.
Yeah, right, yeah. And in the end, I don't really care which foot goes first. That's long-term stuff, but you got to set up wide and catch the ball out front, right? 2 hands, wrists together, fingers up. Remember that stuff. When you're in line here, you need to be thinking about that stuff, okay? Don't be caught goofing off with your friends in line. That's not going to look good to the coaches, but the main thing is then you're not going to be focused on the drill. You need to, when you're about, your turn is coming up, you need to think about what you're about to do. Charge the ball a little bit, set up wide, field it out front, 2 hands, shuffle, throw. Hard, always, okay? Watching it in. Don't let yourself get on your heels, okay? Head over the pop up, pop flies in the outfield. First of all, the catching part. Remember what we want to do. Listen, we got to get our chest under the ball. If you get your body under the baseball, you're going to have a better chance of catching it, and it's going to look a lot better than just drifting with it. If you try to drift with a ball, you're probably never going to get there. Run to the spot, get under where you think it's going to land so you can get your upper chest onto the baseball. The other thing is 2 hands, thumbs together, fingers up. Wait, one more. Here you go. Pitching tryout, there's 2 things that we're looking for, okay? I think most people would agree. Mechanics, decent throwing motion, okay? That's why we spend time working on our throwing motion. Right? Knife edge, lift, tuck, throw, all that stuff we work on sometimes. Okay, so mechanics, and I'm not talking about who has the best wind up and all that. That's not what pitching is about. Pitching is about having good throwing mechanics and having a good stride and releasing the ball hard out front. The other thing is, again, another chance to show your arm, okay? Show your strong arm. So we want to be throwing the ball hard. I know not everybody's got a great arm, but you want to show whatever you've got. If you don't show it, they don't know it, okay? And they're just going to have to assume that you don't have a good arm. So don't sit up here trying to throw strikes. Hopefully you will throw strikes because you're relaxed and throwing hard. There you go. Timing can mess you up. So let's back up to when you're on deck. That's when you need to get your timing down. And what I mean, time the pitcher. So when you're on deck, whether you're able to be out on the field or you're just in the dugout watching and waiting, make sure you're loading while the pitcher's throwing it. Rock, step. Even if you're not able to swing. You don't need to swing when you're timing the pitcher. Rock, step when he's pitching, so you know when the ball's about when it's going to get to home plate. Okay? Make sense? That's when you need to do it. You can take a pitch, first one if you want, to get the timing down, but don't just stand there. Load instead, thinking about what you're focused on mechanically, but you're mainly just trying to hit the ball hard. But don't be the guy, I'll say it again, don't be the guy that gets so nervous that he freezes up and doesn't move. He becomes a statue. All right? We've worked on loading, staying loose, having a little rhythm, right? Don't be the guy that gets up there and forgets everything he worked on because he's looking out there and he's just hoping to God he gets a hit, right? Load, step, swing. It's a nervous time. You're going to have coaches watching, sitting there with clipboards, right? It's kind of a weird thing. It's got to be kind of nerve-wracking for you guys. And I know you've gone through it before, but think about how to relax yourself. Do it in every drill, but especially in hitting. What's the easiest way to relax yourself?
Relax yourself.
What's the easiest way to relax yourself? Thank you. Deep breath, okay? Your muscles need oxygen, okay? If you don't take any good deep breaths, then they get tense. They need oxygen. So deep breath, exhale, relax yourself. I would make it a part of my routine before every swing. Step out, deep breath, step in, get ready to hit. Rock, step, hands to the ball. Yes?
Can I hit first?
You can hit last. All right. Next thing, guys. If you're just not hitting the ball, you're swinging and missing, and you don't know what's going on, you know? Sometimes you know when you roll over that you dropped your barrel, right? Or maybe if you're popping it straight up, maybe you're leaning forward and swinging down too much and chopping. But if you're just missing and you don't know what's wrong, and it's like your only chance and you want to get better immediately, go back to basics. The most basic thoughts you can have. See the ball all the way into the bat. So you got to have your head down on it, right? See contact happen and take the knob of the bat to the ball or your hands to the ball, however you want to think about it. Hands first, knob first. If you do those two things, it's hard to miss, okay? So remember that. You got to be able to coach yourself. I'm not going to be out here telling you, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. You got to coach yourself. I'm going to be throwing overhand just like they will in tryouts, most likely, right? Don't be the guy. Again, don't be the guy that's practiced for the last month or month and a half, or a lot of you guys even longer, preparing for this season. And then as soon as you get in tryouts and somebody's throwing overhand, you start stepping out because you don't know where it's going. You can't do that, okay? If you want to be able to hit it, you got to go toward the ball, all right? You can't have any fear. You got to assume, and this is something I want you to remember during the season too, assume that every pitch is going to be a strike, that pitcher has amazing control, and you're going to step into it and crush it every single pitch. You have to have that confidence to be a good hitter. You can't get up there and have that foot jumping. If that foot starts jumping, you're toast. You're going the wrong way. You got to go into the baseball to have any power and be able to hit well, okay? Remember that. So let's do it now, and let's do it come tryout time.